Hello, my name is Daniel. I am front-end developer. I would like to share with you this small course about HTML. It will be actually 3 videos about basic, medium, and advanced features that we can use in HTML. In other videos, you will find something about CSS and JavaScript in the same channel. But for now, we will talk about HTML. Well, maybe you want to learn about front-end development or web development in general, or maybe something about mobile apps. It depends of the technologies that you want to know. You will need to learn HTML. But what is actually a document that will be built with HTML? So let's say that you want to build a website like this one in Google. You will need basically HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You can see that by inspecting the page. You can right click on your website and click on inspect. But if you are using Safari and you never did this before, you have to go to the Safari menu and settings, advanced, show features for web developers. Click this, and that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, now you can see the inspect element item in the menu. As you can see here, we have the element tab where you can see all the HTML file. So as you can see, this website for Google is an HTML, and we can build the same thing just with really basic knowledge. Of course, there is a lot of things behind this, but we can replicate this. Okay, so if you are a new student and you don't know what is HTML, HTML is a language that will allow you to create any content for the web, any website, any web application, by using tags and elements and adding content to that, like images, inputs, text, headings, etc. Okay, so if you want to write code for HTML, you will need a plain text editor, or you can download an editor like VS Code or Sublime Text. In this case, I will use VS Code. So just type in your browser Visual Studio Code, go to download, and select your system. It could be Windows, Linux, or Mac. In this case is Mac. Okay, once you finish the download, just install it. It depends of your system, operative system again, but you can go to the downloads and install the application. Okay, here we are. As you can see, this will be the first view that you also will see. This is a really simple application, but if this is the first time that you use it, I will recommend you to create a folder in wherever you want. It could be in the desktop, and then just drag and drop the folder in the app. Okay, let's click on OK, trust, and yes, I trust the author. So as you can see, we have the folder here. That this is this same folder, so you can create files by clicking in this icon, new file, and we can create the index.html. You can put the name that you want, but the convention is using index. In future sections, we will create more files, so don't worry about the name now. If you want to see something bigger, just click Command, Shift, and plus, and you will see your window bigger. Okay, so as you can see here, we can just write an HTML document, as you can see here, we can write HTML tags. I will explain later what is a tag, but let's do just an exercise. Please type this symbol h1 and then write anything that you want. So if you go to your folder, you will find this document. If you double click on it, you will have a new tab. As you can see, you have now the text that you write, the title that you write before, you will have it in this browser. This is a browser because we want to create a website. So let's say that you want to add more elements here in your website, like the p tag, that is a paragraph, and just write whatever you want. This is a dummy text that you can write it, that you can create by writing Lorem Ipsum and pressing tab. If I save this with Command S or Control S in Windows and you reload your website, you can see here your document. So as you can see, writing HTML code is really easy. Actually, this is no code, but let's call it for that like that now. Okay, so I will explain what is a tag and what is an element. This is very important to have clear when you are writing code for HTML or for the web. And tag is everything that you see among these two signs, major than and smaller than, and followed by another one that is exactly the same but a closing tag. There are some tags that are self-closing, like the image tag. You will see something like this. As you can see, you don't have to repeat at the end the closing tag. And the element is everything that you have, the content that is inside the tags and the tags. That is an element. So if we inspect our website again, mode tag, body tag, and here we have the h1 tag. This is an element. The tag, the content, and the tag, the closing tag, this is an element. This is another element. Okay, let's continue for that. That is the explanation of. Okay, let's create more elements. As you can see, we can create titles or headings, but we also have an h2 that is smaller. I will show you. I am h2 tag. If we reload, here you can see that it's a little bit smaller, and we click copy and paste this. We have h1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is the maximum, the smallest one. And as you can see, we have all the tags that we have available in HTML. The p tag, that is the paragraph tag. As you can see here, this is a text, and you can create a tag or an element inside another element. For example, this. This is a p tag, a paragraph. As you can see, this is like normal text. This is used for the text. This is used for writing the content itself. But we have more, like a span tag. As you can see, we have this, but the difference with this span is that you can include it inside another tag, and it will not break the flow, the normal flow, or that tag. As you can see, this continue normally without breaking the flow, as we could see in case we use the div, for example, tag. Here you can see how it breaks the flow until here, $, installer, hello again, and it continues the text because this doesn't respect the flow of the tag that we have, that is the span tag. And let's say that I want to add a little bit of formatting. For example, I want to align this in the middle. I can add the style attribute and write text and center, save and reload. As you can see, this is centered now. We can replicate this in the headings also, but we can also add a color. For example, here we are, we have a centered heading with a red color. Okay, this is very basic, but it's really important to understand. We have more tags, more elements, like the list. This is very important. We have a lot of lists on internet. You will see that in the menus, in content, like Amazon. Every list of items or products that we have selling in our website is a list. So let's create one. We have two types of lists, order list and unordered list. The order list are written with an O and an L, and we have an item 1, and we have the list items. LI stands for list item, and we can see the result here. As you can see, the order list adds 1, 2, 3, 4 number in the beginning, but we can create the same for an unordered list. So here we are. We don't have the numbers. We have just decoration, a symbol, an image, and we also can create lists inside element lists. Or list items is the real name. Okay, so an order list with an li sub item 1 and sub item 2. If we reload, you can see how we have now a list inside an item. This is very useful actually, and we will see it in some examples further in this course. So in the same way, we can create this with an order list, of course. So now you know how to create a list with HTMLs. Let's see, and of course, if you can, if you see this, we can check every element here in the browser to check what is and what is actually every element in my website. If you hover, if you put the cursor on the element, you can see where is it. You also can create links, for example, with the A or the anchor tag. As this is a link or a hyperlink, you will need an href attribute. This is for the link for where you want to go. So let's write here just https://google.com and write the content, I am a link. If we reload it, we can see here that we have a link. If we click on it, we will go to google.com because we put google.com here in our HTML code. But let's say that we don't want to overwrite my tab. I want a new tab. We can use the target attribute and use blank. If we use this attribute, when we go to our website, we reload it. Oops. Okay, we click here, we will see how we open a new tab instead of replacing my current tab. Okay, so we can also create a link for another file inside of my project. So let's create another file called link.html, and we can put a title here saying hello from a link. Save it, and here in my new anchor, let's write that slash, and we can see my other HTML file and say hello new page. If we reload, we will see the another link, hello new page. If we click on it, hello from a link, hello from a link. As you can see, we can create several links, or we can have several pages on our website. Let's imagine that we have the contact page, and we also have the products page, and we have the profile page. We can create all those links, all those pages in our website. Okay, let's continue. Now we will see the images. This is really useful on web development because we will use a lot of images, and as I have shown before, this is a self-closing tag, so you don't have to write the closing tag, and we will need the source of the image, of course. That will be a link or the path in our project, and the alternative text, the alt text, that will be a little description, a short description of our image. So let's search for an image here in internet. Unsplash, let's go to Unsplash, and let's search an image. It could be this nice crack, so we can download it. Oh, cancel, a small one please. Yes, hello. Then go to your downloads folder and put the image inside your folder. So, and if you check here, we already have the image. Let's rename it to make it more easy to find later. Okay, this is a crack with a blue sky, and we will put the link of that slash, and as you can see, you can select it from the menu, or you can write the name JPG. You reload, and we go to our main website. That is not the link but index. You can change that in the URL. Here we are. Here is my image. Okay, let's say that we don't want to put the image in our folder, but we want to use a link on internet, from internet. So let's search another image like this one. We can click on right click on the image and copy image address, so you will have a link to the image. Save it, and let's refresh. As you can see, we have the image here, so we can download the image in our folder, or we can just search the link. This link can be your server or your storage in the cloud, or whatever you want to save this image. For example, Drive, that is an option. Cloudinary is another option. AWS, Pocket, or wherever you need. In case the link is wrong or something is not found, let's just write something random in the link. As you can see, we will not see the image because they cannot find it, and the browser will use this alternative text to describe the image here. In this case, Safari doesn't do that, but you can do that. You will see this alt text if you are using Google Chrome or something, or another browser. Okay, let's imagine that I want to change the size of my image. We can do that here, adding the attribute width. Let's say 100 pixels, and let's reload, and as you can see I have a small image, or you can put a bigger image or whatever you want. This is very interesting, but we can also do that using CSS, and we will use it later in this course. Let's leave it in 200. Okay, this is very nice. Also, we can combine, we can mix two different tags or elements. So remember that here in the contact link, we went to the another website, another page that we have, that is the link, but we can use this image as a link if we grab the image in the A tag. Let's check this, let's format this, and now if I reload and I click the image, you can see the cursor have changed. If I click it, voila, now my image is a link. You can do that with any other element, because you can combine and you can nest elements and tags here in HTML. Please always remember that you don't have to use really heavy images, because your website will be load really slow. So in this case I select the small size, but if you use this large image, it will be really heavy to load, and your website will be really slow. So be careful with the image that you use. So I recommend just to have in mind the design of the website that you want to build, and ask yourself, is this image too big for my website or too small? If the answer is yes, so resize it and use the correct size, the correct width and height for your image. This is a good practice, not use very heavy images, because your website will be really slow. Okay, now let's create a form. Let's say that you want to log in a user in your application, in your website. So you will need an email and a password input. How can we create it? We can use the form HTML tag, and inside of that we can create inputs. If you move with the arrows in your keyboard and use the tab keyboard, you can select the item that you have in the menu. In this case I want an email, but I also want a password. Oops. Password. Okay, so if I reload, you can see that I have an email and I have a password. If I have an input of type password, I can see the letters but only dots. That is very important, but I don't know what is this. This is just a couple of boxes. I would like to have a description inside my box. That is called a placeholder. So you add a placeholder to your inputs. Let's say this is an email, and in this case this is a password, and we reload. Here we are, we have the placeholder. This is very useful for UX, so the user will know what to write in that input field. But also I would like to have a description outside of the box. That is called a label. Label. Okay, so in this case is email. If we reload, here we are, we have an email, and for this we have a password. Okay, but let's say that when I click on the word password, I want to write to focus my input. You can do that by using the for attribute, and in this for attribute you have to write the name of the input. So let's put an email, a name, an ID, and also an ID. In this label for, we put the for attribute in the label have to match with the ID of the input. Let's check this out. When I click here, now I select the input, but if the ID is different, you will not be able to do that. When I click here, as you can see, it doesn't focus the input because the ID of the input is not the same as the for of the label. Here we are. We can do that also for the password. Password and the ID password. If we reload, here we are. We have now label for our inputs. But let's say that we want also to create a button to submit my form. That is really useful. Button and submit or login. So as you can see here, we have a button that you can click and add any functionality here by using JavaScript, but we will see that in the future. For now, just worry about the HTML code. Okay, let's move on. Let's imagine that we have to remember this session because we are logging with the email and password, but we want to remember. We don't want to write the email and the password. For that, we will need a checkbox that says, please remember my credentials. So let's create an input of type checkbox that says remember me. And here we are. We have a beautiful checkbox, just as simple as typing the type checkbox or typing the type password. We will have the dots, or typing the email will ask the user, hey, please enter a valid email. Now see, we don't have the error message. Okay, what else do we can create with inputs? We have a lot of inputs. For example, a color input, a date input also. This is really useful. Here you can select a color, or you can select a date, you can select the time, etc. Also we have, of course, we have the input for the text. So let's imagine that we want to create or add a text, for example, for my name. So we can create the input of type text. So here we can write the name and the last name. Or in case you have more text to add, very long text, we can use the area text. Sorry, the text area. So as you can see, we have an input that will allow me to write a lot of text and resize it in case I do need more space. This is basically a form. Now let's imagine that we want to create a table, because tables are really useful. We will have an activity at the end of this video with tables. So for create a table, just type the tag table, and table will have rows. So table rows. This is all the rows that we will have, and of course in the top of the table we will have the heading, so the table heading will be on the top. This will be, for example, product, and we also will have another column that will be the price of my product. Now let's create another row with the information, table row and table. The TD is for the other elements, and this will be PC, and my price will be $400. Now, as you can see, we already have a beautiful table. This is very simple, but it is very useful. Here we are. This is 400, this is 900. Let's imagine that we want to create an action in case, I don't know, I want to buy it immediately. So let's say that we have actions. In this we want to add a button. For example, when I click on my button, I can add it to my wish list, or I can buy it immediately. So buy now. We can replicate this in my other rows, and here we are. We have a table with actions, columns, rows, etc. Also, in case you are wondering, if we can add a list inside that, yes, that is possible. Let's imagine that we have here an order list with a couple of items, item 1 and item 2 reloaded, and voila, we have a list inside of the cell of my table. Of course, this is not beautiful, this is very awful because it doesn't have styles, but we can learn that later with the CSS course, so don't worry too much about this. For now, this is the basic knowledge of the HTML course. So please, I will give you an activity. Please pause the video. Okay, now it's time to create or do an activity using all the knowledge that we just learned, and become that knowledge into a skill. It's very important that when you are learning to code, you practice a lot. If you don't practice, you will not remember everything that you will study. That's because I invite you to pause the video and replicate this website. I will explain what does it have, and then after a couple of seconds I will show you how to do that. That is because that I invite you to pause the video, try to do it by yourself, investigate what you don't understand, rewatch the video, and do it. When you feel frustrated because you can't do something, you will learn more than when you just copy and paste the answer from internet. So now I have two windows open. One is in Google Chrome and another one is in Safari. That is because I want you to try to add the fab icon in the tab of your page. This is visible in local files in Google Chrome, but it's not possible to see it on Safari. But don't worry too much if you are using Safari, or if you don't, if you can't do it, I will explain you how to do that. Okay, the first thing that you have to do is to add a title, and that will be a heading in the center of the page with a blue color. After that, you will create a section for the subscribe to newsletter with an input of type email and a button to subscribe now, and the background of this section will be a light cyan. After that, you will have another section that will be my collections, of course, and here we will create a table. This table will have I have it, that is a column with check boxes. We have the name, that is the name of the car. An image, you can search these images on Unsplash. So please go to Unsplash and research the image that you want. It could be the cars, or you can do anything you want. This has 100 pixels of width. The date will be an input of type date, so please create your own. The color in this case is the color blue of this car, and in this case is the color blue of this car. The action will be a list of buttons, and the select and show more. If I click on the select, I want you to navigate to another page that will say your car is sold. So please try to do it, and I will show you how to do that in shortly. Okay, so if you did exercise and you try to do this and you couldn't do something, it's completely okay. I will show you now how to do that. But please, I hope you try it. Now let's go into the code. So let's close. Now let's keep the Google Chrome tab. Let's open your Visual Studio Code. The first thing that I want you to do is to create a folder for the activity. Create 2 files of HTML. For that, to create a folder is you go to click in this icon that is new folder. Let's do resolve. Let's call it resolve, and we create 2 files. The first one could be activity.html, and the another file will be solid.html. Okay. The first thing that I want you to know is that HTML have a structure. Previously, we made a list of tags and elements that have no sense at all, because they are by their own is words. You can see the content, but this is not correct. So to create the correct structure of an HTML file, you will have to write an HTML tag, you will have to create a head tag, and you will have to create a body tag, and that's it. The body head, the head element will be all the metadata that will have your website, like the CSS files, the title that is here, car store, the fab icon that will be this a small image. You will have more things here, and in the body you will add all the content that your clients or user will see, like the images, title, and text, etc. Okay, so to create, let's open now this file, but for this I want you to install an extension so we can see all the changes in real time as we write the code. For that, go to extensions and write live server and click on install. Let's close this. Let's close all these. Okay, now if you have installed it successfully, you will have here the title go live. If you click on it, here we are. We have our website. The first page that this will open is the index HTML index. This is very important, index, this one, but we don't want to work in the index one. We want to work in the resolve, or the name that you put to the folder, and then activity.html. I want to work in this page. Okay, so let's add the title that will be car store. As you can see, this is updated. We want to create the fab icon. For that fab icon, you have to create a link tag. We have to add the rel attribute. with the name icon. We have to add the href. Let me put this way so we have more space. The href is the link to the image. In this case, I have downloaded a car image PNG, and I went to a website that converts PNGs to ICO. So just upload the image here, click on convert, and download it. Please try it by yourself, but you can also use the PNG in Google Chrome. For that, I will copy paste. When you do this conversion, you will have this image that has an extension ICO, and let's put it in our folder. Okay, so let's close this and this. Okay, so put the name favicon.ico. Okay, save it. If you are using Google Chrome, you will see this icon. If you are working in Safari, don't worry too much about that. Okay, here it is. This is for now. Okay, the first thing that I have to add is the title. So let's create the title. For that, we will create an H1 and my car store. Perfect. Okay, but it has to be blue. So let's add the style attribute of color blue. Perfect. And now it has to be centered. Text align center. Perfect. Here we go. Now we will need a section for the newsletter. Section, and this is an H2 heading that it says subscribe to out. This is run newsletter. Okay, perfect. Now we will add an input of type email with a placeholder. Type your email. Okay, placeholder, type your email, and then we have a button. Okay, it says subscribe now. Perfect. Here we are. But this section has a style with a background color. Maybe you couldn't add this. If you could, congratulations, because I didn't explain this before. But if you couldn't, this is the way background color style, and we will put the light cyan color. Here we are. We have the light cyan. Okay, this is another section. So let's create another section. Remember that you can write the name of the tag and then click on tab in your keyboard, and you will have the autocomplete. Okay, here we have another title. We have another title that says my collection, of course. Please excuse my typos, but the purpose of this is learning HTML. Okay, now we will create a table. Remember that we have table rows where we have the table heading. Let's put this down and this down, so it will be more easy to it will be easier to read. I have it, and we'll copy paste this. We have the name, we have the image, we have the date, we have the color, and we have the actions. Perfect. Let's create another table row for our first car, that is a Camaro. The TD, this is a input of type. Can you guess? Yes, type checkbox. That's it. So here we are. here it is, that this is the file that we are editing. This is what we want to do. Okay, let's close that. Let's create another column. That is the name. In this case is Camaro. Then we have the image. I have the image copied around here. Let's copy paste all the tag. Remember, image, source, and alternative text. What else do we have? We have the date. This is an input of type. Yep, date. Very good. And then we have the input of type color. Very good. Date, color. And now we have the actions. This is a list, an order list, and we will have the list items. Every list item has a button inside. The first one says select, and the second one says show more. Okay, select and show more. Here we are, and that's it. I think that's it. The other part is just copy paste this table row, but add an image of a Mustang. You can add the image of the Mustang if you want. And the last thing that we have to do is to create a new page that we already create the page here, the file. Will add an HTML. Here is another thing that you can do is write HTML on Visual Studio Code, and where it says 5, the version 5 of HTML, press tab, and you will have a full base for your HTML document. Perfect. Okay, let's create a heading that says your car is sold. Now, how can we do that? How can we link this button to another page? That is very easy. We can go to the button where it says select, and we can oh no, this is not the file. Go to your file where you are working here, and inside the button please create an anchor tag /cell, and let's put this button inside here. You can copy paste it, or you can press Alt or Option and the arrow up, so you can move the entire line. Alt down, Alt up. Okay, perfect. And let's copy this in another car. This is the Mustang, and this is the Camaro. What happened here? Select. And now, as you can see, we will be able to navigate to the another page. Here is the same, it's working. That was the activity. I really hope that you learned in this video. This is a basic knowledge. I will record another video in medium topics, and also I will record a video for advanced topics. So please check it out, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much.